The NBA is packed full of powerfully strong players, each with an intense personality to match. Sometimes things come to a head in the passion of the moment in a big game, or off the court, talking to the press and media. Rivalries and drama happen all the time and can affect the balance of teams and their players. And today we're going to take a look into some of the biggest NBA feuds you might not have already known about. But before we begin, remember to take a moment to leave a like on this video by pressing the thumbs up button down below. It really helps the channel keep creating awesome new content for you to enjoy. Subscribe too to stay up to date with all our brand new videos, and turn on notifications to make sure you don't miss anything you need to see. Now, let's get started. LeBron James and Stevenson. All the way back in 2008, LeBron James and Stevenson clashed on court, with the Washington Wizards beating the Cleveland Cavaliers 101-99. Prior to this, the Cavaliers had beaten the Wizards twice, so Stevenson wanted to try some other tactics to get his victory. He got into James's head on court, and the fighting had only just started. After the game, he spoke to the press saying famously about James, "He's overrated, and you can say that I said that." This little bit of trash talking would be the start of a 5-year-long feud. Multiple games later, the two teams ended up on opposite sides of the court once more, and the press was desperate to get a quote from James dissing Stevenson. What they got wasn't an outright explicit diss, but it might have been even better. With Stevenson, it's kind of funny. It's almost like Jay-Z made by Soulja Boy. It doesn't make sense to respond. The nonchalant attitude in his comment made it even more insulting. Without saying as much, he called himself a legend that doesn't need to respond to a comment made by someone with only one achievement. LeBron James was already in Jay-Z's good books due to his impressive amount of talent, and Jay-Z, perhaps wanting to get such a huge talent over to the basketball team, he was already part owner of the New Jersey Nets. But Stevenson took that as an invitation to keep this off-court battle going. Soulja Boy ended up sitting behind one of the baskets in one of the Washington Wizards games, and he displayed loyalty to the team by doing his now famous crank that dance during the game. This show of support for Stevenson reignited the beef, and none other than rap heavyweight Jay-Z stepped in to make his presence known. While all this was happening, Jay-Z was in Oakland, California. He had a performance and played Too Short's song Blow the Whistle, and the enthusiasm of the crowd there gave him an idea. He got in touch with Too Short and asked for the instrumental of the track, and he performed a rap right over top. Nobody knew it was going to happen, so what happened the next night was a total surprise to everyone. The Washington Wizards were partying in DC when the DJ at the club there played the new Jay-Z track, which featured the Blow the Whistle instrumental. The new rap went as follows: "Ask LeBron, we so big we ain't gotta respond. Who the overrated? If anything, they underpaid him. Hating that's only gonna make him spend the night out of spite with the chick you've been dating." Whilst Jay-Z doesn't explicitly mention Stevenson's name, it is incredibly obvious what he's referring to. The two basketball players have since patched up their feud, or at least stopped caring so much about it, but there's no doubt that being heavily featured in a Jay-Z diss track is one of the highlights of Stevenson's career. Michael Jordan and Isiah Thomas. Michael Jordan is undoubtedly one of the most famous athletes in the entire world of sport, let alone just in basketball. Anyone who hears his name knows exactly who he is, and his long career will definitely have given him his fair share of chances to have a beef with someone. Apparently, he has a reputation for having a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He uses every setback, insult, wayward comment, and career failure as a fuel to get him ahead, but he also lets things stick in his head, and he holds grudges. This means that once someone says something about him, he isn't ever going to forget about it. His problem with Isiah Thomas began way back in 1985. An all-star game was taking place, and at the time Michael Jordan was a rookie and already displaying an incredible amount of skill. As such, he got an incredible amount of attention, and as Thomas was already in his 4th year, he got super annoyed. Apparently, he conspired with his fellow players to freeze out the star rookie and not give him the chance to get his hands on the ball. The results spoke for themselves, and Jordan ended up having a below-average game. The next time the two met on the court, Jordan got his revenge and absolutely floored them with 49 points. When the Last Dance documentary about Michael Jordan came out, fans were taken on this journey and saw all these events play out before them. But one person wasn't happy about this: Isiah Thomas. He took to Twitter after the release of the documentary to defend himself and lay into Michael Jordan at the same time. He said, "No hate, just facts," and posted a list of stats showing that when pitted against Michael Jordan head-to-head, he came out on top despite who had the most success over the career as a whole. He even went so far as to say in a follow-up interview, "Head-to-head, I was dominant over him, Michael Jordan, until 1991 when I basically had a career-ending wrist injury. My record against him and his team, it really wasn't competition there." For someone that has a supposed chip on his shoulder, Michael Jordan is handling this pretty well. He obviously used the original beef with Isiah to motivate himself for future success against his team, which he did, winning handsomely against them in the future. But Isiah Thomas seemed to be continuing to try to prove Michael Jordan wrong. Despite despite apparently having no hate against him. Sure, a likely story. Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. The Shaq versus Kobe feud is one of the most famous in NBA history ever, and unusually it takes place between the two players on the same team. Despite their hugely dominating personalities at times making things difficult, their team, the LA Lakers, absolutely overtook the competitions whilst they were on the team. If the two could have put their differences aside and worked together more cohesively, who knows what kind of heights the LA Lakers could have soared to. Bryant was signed to the LA Lakers in 1996 straight from high school when he was just 18 years old. O'Neal was picked up later that year, and straight off the bat he had more experience than his young teammate. Bryant quickly became known for being rather confident to the point where it got seen as arrogance, and this led O'Neal being responsible for his hazing on his new team. This got even more heated in the 1998-99 season. It got to the point where the two got so frustrated with one another that they ended up scrapping on the court during a pickup game. This particular event had actually been told in great detail in Jeff Pearlman's new book, and we have a quote about the event right here. O'Neal slapped Bryant across the face. Hard. His hands are huge, said Blunt, who was playing in the game. The noise was loud. Here is Polinace's recollection. Then Shaq swung around at Kobe, but he missed. I run over and grab Shaq because I'm big enough to do so, and Shaq keeps swinging, but everything's missing because I have his arms. I'm grabbing onto Shaq, holding on for dear life, yelling, "Somebody grab Kobe! Seriously, somebody grab him!" But I'm holding Shaq and Kobe's taking swings at him. At one point, Shaq gets an arm loose and he pops me in the head. Seriously, no good deed goes unpunished. And I'm telling you, if Shaq gets loose, he would have killed Kobe Bryant. I'm not exaggerating. It was along the lines of an "I want to kill you right now" punch. He wanted to end Kobe's life in that moment. It definitely sounds like things got pretty serious and heated. The pair managed to make it work long enough to win the NBA Finals 3 times in a row, which is an incredible achievement. The two patched up their beef after their retirement, and when Kobe Bryant unexpectedly passed away, Shaq led a very emotional tribute to him. This goes to show that even the most intense feuds can have happy endings. Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to leave a like down below and a comment to let us know what your most memorable NBA feud is. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss a single bit of our brand new content, and turn on notifications to get access right away for our upcoming videos. See you soon!